Upgrade is perhaps one of the best notions mankind has created.
From backup to booting to installation, IT skills must really advance in the modern world.
As we loot new operating systems, let us go make things a lot easier.
This is Jessie Mikaela de Leon following the Mellow Boot Road where there is no prep like home.
Yours truly is Lloyd P. Lomotan, onward to Windows of the West.
The name is Lyanna Andrea Villanueva on flight to the EmeraLinux city.
And this is Axl Louis Coronel, your support for this escapade. I welcome you,
The Wizards
of OS.
Hello everyone! If hindi nyo pa napapanood yung mga previous videos namin on how to make a bootable device, prepare for OS installation and installing Windows, the links are on the descriptions. Greetings Wizards! We are here at the finale part of our tetralogy series on hardware and system servicing tutorials. So our path is clear, we are now at the EmeraLinux city. And as you can guess, we are about to tackle the installation of Linux operating system in your PC. And as always, we would have emblems for every noteworthy step na ating magagawa. And now that we're on the last part, victory items shall now appear on this video. Hope you catch them all. This is Lyanna Villanueva, and with introductions done, let's hop into the main video. Okay, so before the installation of Linux OS, let me introduce you this first. The Ubuntu 20.04 Linux operating system. So ano ba to? It is freely available with both community and professional support. So what happened is that the Ubuntu community is built on the ideals expressed in the Ubuntu Manifesto na software should be available free of charge o walang bayad, and also users should be able to use tools in their local language and can customize and change their software in any way they want. So that's it. Ubuntu will always be free of charge and committed to the development of open source software, encouraging people to use and improve this software. So there are requirements for the system of Ubuntu 20.04. What are those? The system should at least have 2 GHz dual-core processor, a 4 GB RAM but 2 GB will do, 25 GB of hard drive space, VGA or video graphics array that is capable of 1024 by 768 screen resolution, and also either of these two, a DVD drive or a USB port for the installer media. And lastly, well, this is optional to have an internet access. So going on to the installation process of Linux, what are we gonna do is that we will use the Oracle VM VirtualBox. Ito siya. Ayan, para mapakita ko sa inyo yung step-by-step procedure in installing Ubuntu 20.04 LTS in your desktop. So the first thing we have to do is to download yung ISO file that is required para ma-install natin yung Ubuntu sa VirtualBox natin. So for downloading the ISO file of Ubuntu, we'll go to the browser and then search for Ubuntu. Tapos click lang natin yung link na makikita natin yung pinakauna. And then once na nag-open na siya, go to the download button up here. Ito siya. Then makikita nyo tong Ubuntu Desktop 20.04 LTS. So make sure na kapag mag-i-install kayo ng Ubuntu, install the LTS version. Kasi it means the long-term support version of it will at least run for 2 years. So click na natin tong Ubuntu Desktop. So pag nag-open na siya, makikita natin yung download button dito. Ito siya. Click lang natin siya para ma-download. And then afterwards, makikita nyo na yung file na na-download sa Windows operating system nyo. So, around 2.9 GB yung laki niya. So, medyo matagal-tagal siya mag-download. Pero since kanina ay nakapag-download na ako ng ISO file, kasi ang goal ko lang naman is mapakita sa inyo if paano and saan i-download yung ISO file, ika-cancel na natin to. So, pag natapos ma-download yung ISO file, makikita nyo siya sa downloaded files nyo. Next, kapag na-download na natin yung ISO file, we can proceed in installing Ubuntu on our VirtualBox. So sa VirtualBox, click lang natin yung new button up here. And the next is magpo-provide tayo ng name of our new machine. So I will type Ubuntu 2004. And then the VirtualBox will do the rest. Ayan siya. Then click the next button. So sa memory size, bababaan ko lang siya kasi may possibility na hindi siya kayanin ng device ko. So depende na lang yan sa specs ng device nyo. And then click the next button. So for the hard disk, just leave it as default, then click the create button. Here's the hard disk file type. Just leave it as is sa VDI or VirtualBox disk image, and then press the next button. Same goes here. Just leave it all as is sa dynamically allocated kasi it will allow the Ubuntu operating system to expand the disk size if required, and then click the next. So sa part na to, you can choose the location of the file kung saan mada-download and installed yung files ni Ubuntu operating system na gagawin mo. So for this instance, I will just leave it as default and click the create button. So ayan, after natin magawa yung machine, makikita nyo siya dito sa left side nyo entitled, ito yung ginawa natin, Ubuntu 2004. And the next naman is click the settings option up here. So, dito sa general part, yung basic, as is lang siya, wala tayong babaguhin. And then, moving on dito sa advanced setting, we will just replace itong shared clipboard ng bidirectional. Same goes with the drag and drop, gagawin natin bidirectional. Para ma-share natin yung files between our Windows and virtual machine. Dito sa description, as is lang siya. Same goes with the disk encryption. So, here naman sa system, yung motherboard, ganyan lang siya. Then, next dito sa processor, i-move lang natin siya dito sa green mark for safer side. And then, next sa acceleration, as is lang siya. So, sa display, just leave everything as default too. Moving on sa storage, so dito natin ipoprovide yung location ng ISO file natin. So, click the empty option here. And then, dito sa side, click nyo yung CD icon. And then, choose a disk file. And then, i-insert natin yung ISO file na dinownload natin kanina. After nun, makikita natin yung file name ng ISO natin. Right here, Ubuntu 2004. And then, you can do the other settings. Pwede nyo sila ibahin. Pero for this instance, I will just leave everything as is. And then, click OK. After natin maayos yung settings, we are ready to start our Ubuntu installation. So, press the start button up here para mag-run na siya. And as you can see, yung installation ni Ubuntu, mag-start na siya in a few seconds. So, full screen lang natin siya. Switch. Next, sa actual installation, kapag na-detect na ng BIOS yung bootable media, then it boots from it. So, ayan, as you can see, yung installer, it will start checking the hard disk or yung file type system after nung successful boot. Now, you can skip this part by pressing the Ctrl+C. So, skip natin siya. And wait for a few moments. Okay, next, when the disk check is completed, after a few seconds, you will be able to see the Ubuntu 2004 welcome page. And what are we gonna do next is to select the install Ubuntu, ito siya, and wait for a few moments for it to respond. After that, ang lalabas naman sa next window is yung keyboard layout. So, mamimili lang tayo dito. Pero, for this instance, as is lang siya na English US and then English US. Also, you can test your keyboard by typing anything sa box na to. So, for example, HSS. Ayan. And then, press the continue button. Next, on this window, you will see the updates and other software. So, click lang natin yung chosen type of installation natin. So, let's click the normal installation. And then for the other options, just click the download updates while installing Ubuntu. Same goes with the install third-party software for graphics and Wi-Fi hardware and additional media formats. After that, press the continue button. Here on the installation type, naka-indicate dito if what do you want to do with the hard drive. Now, since we are running a virtual machine, yung hard drive natin is empty. Therefore, we don't have to worry about preserving any other data. So, just choose the erase disk and install Ubuntu. And then click the install now. And then, ito lalabas to. Click lang natin yung continue button. After that, select your location. So, lagay natin Bulacan. And then click the continue button. So, for this step, magpo-provide tayo ng user details natin to create a system account. So, I will enter my full name. And then we're done. Let's click the continue button. And then after that, yung actual base system installation will now begin. So it will take a longer time, so we'll just have to wait for it to be finished. Okay, next. Once the installation of the system is completed, mag-a-appear to sa screen nyo. So, click the Restart Now button to reboot your system. So, at this point, it says here to please remove the installation medium. And then press Enter. So, let's just press Enter. And then we'll see that the Ubuntu OS will start. And then after some point, you will see the login window here. So, click lang natin yung name natin sa login interface. And then provide the password that we made earlier during the installation. And then press Enter. Afterwards, the welcome window will appear sa screen nyo. Siya. So, press lang natin yung skip button dito. And then next. Next. And once you see the ready to go sign, click nyo lang yung done to start using your system. So, ayan na siya. Finally, we finished installing Ubuntu 20.04 LTS on your computer. Congratulations, and we are done. We have installed Linux OS in our device, and assuming you have completed this trilogy, you are now a full-fledged wizard of OS2 like us. And if you still haven't watched it, huwag kayong mag-alala kasi you can still go back to them anytime at your discretion. Now go and be a technology literate wizard. Bye everyone!
Thank you.
For watching, you are now a
Wizards of OS.